Building Friends, a Habitat for Humanity book by Ronald Kidd. Rosa sat in her treehouse, smiling. The treehouse was Rosa's favorite place. Her mother and father had built it for her when they moved to their new neighborhood to make her feel more at home. Rosa loved sitting high above the ground, safe among the branches, watching the world go by. One Saturday morning, Rosa saw a boy ride his bike onto the empty lot next door. He parked the bike and sat down in the lot, gazing out across the wildflowers and weeds. Rosa, curious, climbed down from the tree and walked over to where the boy sat. "What are you doing?" asked Rosa. The boy said, "Just enjoying the view." Rosa told him about her tree house and invited him to see it. The boy, whose name was Matthew, thanked her but said he should be getting home. He promised to ask his parents if he could return the next week. After church on Sunday, Rosa's mother and father had some news. "We learned about a group called Habitat for Humanity," said Rosa's mother. Habitats build houses for working families all around the world who need a decent place to live. All the builders are volunteers. That means they don't do it for money. They do it because they want to help. Rosa's father said, "We've decided to volunteer for Habitat and help build a brand new house." "Can I help?" asked Rosa. "I'm afraid not," said her father. "For safety reasons, only grown-ups are allowed." Her mother said, "But you can still feel like you're part of the project because the house will be right next door. You can watch the whole thing from your treehouse." Saturday was a big day for Rosa. The volunteers started working on the Habitat house, and her new friend Matthew came to play. Rosa and Matthew spent the day in the treehouse, talking and watching the Habitat workers. Matthew came back the next week, but this time he brought a toolbox with him. "I like building things too," said Matthew. "If you want, we could work on your treehouse together." Rosa happily agreed, and the two of them got started. Week by week, as the children fixed up Rosa's treehouse, the Habitat house took shape. They watched each step from their perch in the tree, waving to Rosa's parents and the other volunteers. First, the workers laid the foundation so the house would rest on a solid base. Next, the workers built the walls and roof with windows and doors to let the sun in. Finally, the house was finished and painted. It was completed the same day Rosa and Matthew did the last of the work on the treehouse. At dinner that night, Rosa's father told her the Habitat house would be dedicated on Saturday. There would be a short service, and then the new family would move in. Rosa's mother was still excited about her work on the house. She said, "One of the best things about it was meeting people. I think building things together is a good way to make new friends." Thinking of Matthew, Rosa agreed. A few days later, Rosa called Matthew to see if he could come play on Saturday. "I can't play this week," he said, "but I'll be seeing you soon." At the dedication on Saturday, Rosa stood with her parents, listening to the speakers. The last speaker presented a set of keys to the family who would be living there. Rosa stood on tiptoe to see her new neighbors. There was a mother, a father, and a little boy. And the boy was Matthew. introduced Rosa to his parents, she recognized them as two of the workers who had built the house. "Why didn't you tell me you'd be living here?" Rosa asked Matthew. "I was too shy at first," he said. "Then I decided to make it a surprise." Matthew proudly led Rosa into his new house. It was still empty, but the morning sun made it feel warm and welcoming. Then Matthew took her to his room. He sat in the middle of the floor, gazed out the window, and grinned, just as he had that day in the empty lot. Rosa sat down beside him to see what he was looking at. There, framed in the window, was Rosa's tree house. "I liked the view before," said Matthew, "but now it's even better." Rosa smiled and took his hand. She said, "Everything looks better when you have a friend." Thank you so much for listening, and that was Building Friends, a Habitat for Humanity book by Ronald Kidd.